everyone, welcome back. Today we're going to be looking at how to multiply and divide with rational numbers. So we're just going to start off by first looking at decimals here. I already wrote this stuff in, but as a reminder, when we multiply decimals, we don't really have to line them up. We can just kind of ignore them till the end. When we are finished, the product will have the same number of places behind the decimal as the multiplicand and the multiplier. When we talk about dividing with decimals, we have to have a whole number as our divisor. So the number that we're dividing by has to be a whole number. It can't have a decimal in it. So we have to move the decimal over to make it a whole number. And then since we're moving that with the divisor, we have to do the same thing with the dividend. Then we just divide normally. And what I mean by that is we use long division. And it's really important that we bring the decimal point into our quotient when we're finished. So that's just a review of how we do multiplying and dividing with decimals. As for a review of how we multiply and divide with integers, so if we have positive negatives, if the signs are going to be the same, then my answer will be positive. So if I have two negative numbers, it's going to make a positive product or quotient. So I have two different examples here. The first one is multiplying. So like I said, we don't have to technically line up any decimals. I can just multiply. Now for me, I find it tricky if I keep the negatives when I'm multiplying because it kind of confuses me if I'm doing multiplying or subtraction. So I just ignore my negative signs till the end. So all we have to do is just multiply the 2 out. So 2 times 6 is 12. Carry the 1. 2 times 5 is 10. Plus 1 gives me 11. Carry the 1. 2 times 1 is 2. Add 1 gives me 3. Okay, now my final answer is not going to be 312. First, let's look at our decimal. We had one place behind the decimal here. One place behind here means one place behind down here. That's why we're going to put our decimal right here between the 1 and the 2. So 1 decimal place. The last thing we have to look at is if it's going to be positive or negative. So if I have two negatives, I'm going to have a positive answer. So 31.2 will be my final answer here. Alright, this next one here, when you see a number over another number, that means we're going to be dividing. So right now, I could rewrite this problem to look more like a division problem that maybe you're more comfortable with. If it looked like this is the same thing as this. It's the numerator divided by the denominator, just like we were doing last week. So the number that we're dividing by has to be a whole number. So the number or the divisor that we're dividing by, this has to be the whole number. So in order to make this a whole number, I'm going to move it one place to the right. So that's going to make this number a negative 12. And if I did it with one number, I have to do it to the other. So now this number is going to be negative 43.2. So now I can set up my long division. So the first number goes on the inside. So I'm going to have negative 43.2 divided by negative 12. Now, same thing as before. I'm just going to ignore the negative signs. If it helps you just to ignore them or not even put them on there for now, that's fine. You just have to make sure that you check your answer when you're finished. So 12 can't go into 4. But 12 can go into 43 3 times. So 3 times 12 gives me 36. Once again, I'm ignoring the negative. 43 minus 36. Okay, that's going to give me 7. I'll bring down my 2 here. 12 goes into 72 6 times, and it goes in perfectly. So I'm not going to have to do anything else after that. Okay, so the last two things that we need to remember is our decimal. So that goes in the same spot it was in before. So I'm going to have 3.6. Then I look, if I had a negative divided by a negative, I'm going to have a positive answer. So positive 3.6 would be my final answer here. So now let's look at a couple problems where the signs are different. So different meaning I have one positive, one negative. That means my product or quotient is going to be negative. If I have one of each, my answer will be negative. So if you look at this problem, several of my students here at school just wanted to subtract here. if you see a number next to a parentheses, that means we're going to multiply. So 2.5 times negative 7.4. So same thing as we just did before. We don't really have to line the decimals up here. It just kind of works out. When we do this, I get confused if I put the negative there, so I'm just ignoring it for now. So I'm just going to multiply this out. So 4 times 5, 20. Carry the 2. 4 times 2 is 8, plus 2 is 10. Then I'm going to add my little magic 0 down here. And I'm going to have 7 times 5, which is 35. Carry the 3. And then 7 times 2 is 14, plus 3 is 17. Now I just have to add all this up. We have 0, 5, 8, and 1. So if I look back, now I have to decide where that decimal is going to go. I had one place here, one place here. So 2 decimal places total. I need to have 2 decimal places total down here. So I'm going to have 18.50. Technically, I don't really need that 0 because 18.5 would be the same thing. The last thing we have to check is it going to be positive or negative. So if I have one of each, I'm going to have a negative product here. Okay? All right, the last one with decimals is dividing. So once again, the number that we're dividing by has to be a whole number. So 0.6 right now is not a whole number. I'm going to have to move it one place to the right to make it 6, which means I have to move this one place to the right. So really, this is negative 86 divided by 6. So I'm going to set up my long division here. Negative 86 divided by 6. So 6 can go into 8 one time. So I can subtract 6. Remember, we ignore the negative. 8 minus 6 leaves me with 2. Bring down the next 6. How many times can 6 go into 26? That would be 4 times. So now I have 24, which gives me 2. Now, since we're dealing with decimals, we're not going to have remainders. We are going to keep going. So we're going to have to add a decimal and a 0. Now I can bring that 0 down. 6 can go into 20 3 times, which is 18, and I'm given a 2. So if I were to bring down another 0, look, I have another 20, which means I'm going to have another 3 up here, and which means I'm just going to keep cycling through this. So this 3 is going to be repeating. So I'm going to put the repeating bar on that. Same thing as before, the decimal goes in the same spot. So I'm going to have 14.3 repeating. The last thing I need to look at, if I had a negative divided by a positive, my final answer will be negative. So I have negative 14.3 repeating there. Okay? All right, so now we're going to look at a couple fraction problems. I know fractions aren't everyone's favorite, but I really don't think these are really that bad. So same as before, if we're multiplying fractions, you have to change mixed numbers into improper fractions before you can do anything else. And then you just multiply the numerators and then the denominators, and then you simplify. Division is similar. You still have to change everything to improper fractions. Then this is where we do keep, change, flip. So don't get confused with keep, change, change. It is keep, change, flip here. Then we can just multiply and then simplify. So if the signs are the same, so same as the front, our answer will be positive. So I'm only going to do a couple of these problems on the back here. Negative 2 3/5 times negative 2/3. So like I said, you have to change mixed numbers into improper fractions. So this is a mixed number. I have to change it into an improper fraction. So 2 times 5 is 10, plus 3 gives me 13. And I have to remember to keep my negative on that. Remember, we're always going to put our negatives on our numerator. So I'm going to have negative 13 over 5 times, once again, the negative goes on the numerator, negative 2 over 3. Okay? So now, we don't have to have common denominators because we're just going to multiply straight across. So the numerator, negative 13 times negative 2, that's going to give me positive 26 because 2 negatives makes a positive. And 5 times 3 gives me 15. So I am fine with you keeping improper fractions. They just have to be simplified. So 26 and 15, is there any number I can divide both those by? No. So this is going to be my final answer. Okay? All right, I'm going to do one division problem over here. So negative 1 3/8 divided by negative 1/8. Once again, we have a mixed number here that needs to be changed to an improper fraction. So as an improper fraction, that would be negative 11 over 8 divided by, remember we're going to put the negative on our numerator, negative 1 over 8. So now we're going to do keep, change, flip, because this is a dividing fractions problem. So keep negative 11 over 8, change the multiplication, and then we're going to flip the 8 and the negative 1. So when I do this, now I have a negative on the bottom over here. That's not really going to change much though. So negative 11 times 8 will be negative 88. And then 8 times negative 1 is negative 8. Now if I look at this, kind of like the front, I have a negative divided by a negative, or a negative over a negative. So this is really the same thing as 88 over 8, because 2 negatives makes a positive. Now that I have 88 over 8, you're probably thinking, well, that's easy to simplify. That's going to be 11. So 11 would be our final answer here, and it would be positive because I had a negative divided by a negative. All right, we'll do one more problem together. So if the signs are different, the product or quotient is going to be negative. Okay. So if we look at this again, let's look at, let's do the first problem here. I have a positive times a negative. So once again, mixed numbers have to be improper fractions. So then we're going to have 5 over 2 times, once again, the negative goes on the numerator, 3 over 4. Simple, we're just going to multiply across. Positive 5 times negative 3, 1 positive, 1 negative makes it a negative 15 over 8. And once again, that can't be simplified. Okay? I actually lied. Let's do one more problem. Let's do this one over here because I know this one stumped some of my kids at school. If you have a whole number, the denominator under it will always be 1. So this is a division problem, so I am going to have to do keep, change, flip. So keep the negative 7 over 10. Change the multiplication. Now if this was a 4 over 1, I'm flipping it to 1 over 4. Which means that this will be negative 7 times 1, which is negative 7 over positive 40. And that can't be simplified either. All right, I hope this was all helpful for everyone. Have a good day, guys.